You like Guardians of the Galaxy? You like Borderlands? I don't think the two mix, but actually, that's not entirely true. Borderlands, just saw this last night. My out of the theater reactions up. Did not have the highest hopes. When the reviews came out, they weren't great. And then they kept getting worse. And then they kept getting worse. As it stands, last I checked, it had a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. This means, and let me see if that has changed now. If we now have a much higher rating or a much lower rating or about the same. Nope, 7%, that's where that stays. That means, people, that this film ranks even worse. Madam Web. Than Madam Web. That's what? Like, how bad, Matt? Did I miss something here? There we go, Madam Web. Madam Web, ranked considered one of the worst comic book movies, one of the worst movies of the year, and one of the worst comic book movies ever, has an 11%. That's impressive to outbad Madam Web. Madam Web at least got double digits. At least got double digits. Is it that bad? I mean, really, when you break it down, is it that bad? No, I don't think it's that bad. Forgive me if there might be a little lag here. Hopefully it's not going to be too bad. But no, it's not that bad. Is what everyone said true? For the most part. So, I mean, look, it's based off the very popular video game series. It was announced like 9 years ago. And if you don't know the video game, like I don't know the video game, and maybe that's why I'm not as harsh on it, maybe. It's, long and short of it, takes place in, we've conquered space, and there used to be this alien race, and they disappeared, but they left all their secrets and treasures and technology behind in the vault on this planet, and everyone tries to hunt the vault, find the treasure, and you get this bounty hunter played by Cate Blanchett, and this guy, this ex-soldier played by Kevin Hart, who busts out this girl played by Ariana Greenblatt, along with this psycho guy, dumb guy, who's literally called a psycho, played by an actor I'm not familiar with. And they meet Claptrap, the robot, and this weird scientist lady played Jamie Lee Curtis, and they're wacky hijinks, but they're broken people, but they're gonna be family in the end. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy, anyone? Like, seriously. Like, I'm not saying Borderlands came out before the movie. It did, absolutely. Technically, Guardians of the Galaxy, though, as a comic, was out long before this, so maybe they took some of that inspiration. Honestly, I don't know what came first in terms of like concept. Okay, let's at least go over the stuff I thought actually on some level worked. I think that's the best way to go about it. What worked? Down here, in this nice little chunk here, and then everything else that didn't work. I've heard a lot of people say that there was a lot of miscasting going on in this movie, particularly with characters like Kevin Hart or Jamie Lee Curtis. I will say this. About half of the characters worked for me. And then, because I'd say about half, I'd even go so far as to say 2/3 of the characters either worked or I found unoffensive. I thought Cate Blanchett, who was our main lead, was doing the best she could. Damn it, she was trying, and sometimes she made it look, sometimes she was cool. Other times, it's like, we need you to emote, Kate. You're one of the best actresses of all time. Emote. But be stoic about it. Don't really emote. And, like, they're trying, and no. And some of this dialogue is just really bad for like, her character. Like, it just doesn't really work well. But she, I think, is probably the standout. I'm going to be honest. I heard a lot of people get upset about the casting with Jack Black as Claptrap. He's probably the funniest one in the movie. He legitimately, I liked his personality. He's telling, I am programmed to help you till you die. That's fine. It's like, yeah. I was celebrating because you were still alive, not because I thought you were dead. Not every joke with him works, because not every joke with anyone in here works. But he, I think, is the most consistent in terms of what works. I personally liked Claptrap, but again, I'm not familiar with the book with the game. I also thought the Psycho was just a lot of fun. Like he's not like he's the Groot of the movie. There's not a lot of personality to him. He's just like grunts and just silly sayings, which to be fair is apparently par for the character. Like, all right, it's gonna get bloody. Blood shower. Like he's just says these stupid things. So I liked him though. He's fun for what it is, and I think Kevin Hart he's really sleepwalking through a lot of this. My God, is he sleepwalking through a lot of this? And honestly, Kate Blanchett I would even go so far as to say I think Kate Blanchett is kind of sleepwalking as well. But even her sleepwalking has more effort than Kevin Hart's sleepwalking. There's only a couple times where I do buy that he's kind of trying a bit harder than what we're seeing. But yeah, again, he's not bad. I just don't think he's like stand out or anything like that. And he's definitely got some jokes like you get a bullet, you get a bullet, you get a bullet. Like there's a couple of times where I get a laugh from him. But okay, so that was the characters. I like the world. Like the world is cool. I like this alien world. I like the lore. There's some cool ideas here. Visually, it looks good, except when it doesn't. It goes back and forth on that. There are one or two decent action sequences, I think. Nothing super standoutish, but one or two decent action sequences with a couple of decent little effects to them. The final action sequence is kind of fun. Honestly, the main action sequence of the film, like I think the set piece action sequence, honestly, is not even the finale. It's the scene where they're in like the underground caustic caverns, I think they call it, looking for one of the three keys. And when it goes to hell, that's actually a kind of fun. That is a bit of a fun sequence. I did like that sequence. However, for the little bit of praise I can give it, and I can give it some praise, I think you can see a good film trying to get out of here. It's the same issue I had with Good Boys a couple years back. Everyone loved that film. I hated that film. I absolutely did not like that film at all, except for a couple scenes, and I said this back when I watched that movie. There is a good movie trying to get out of this movie. The pieces are here. The pieces are set up. But because it's a video game, because you've got to obviously do some exposition lore, it just is trying too hard, I think, to cram so much into it. There's a guy, for example, that Kate Blanchett meets. Lilith, I think her name is Lilith, who is clearly is like I think the narrator or supposed to be like the narrator of Borderlands. It's like, "Greetings, Vault Hunters." It's like, "Get your weapons here," and I was like, "I'm not a Vault Hunter." Of course, Vault Hunter. Like, it's cute, admittedly, for like a nod to the game, but I'm like, okay, whatever. And it's a lot of that. It's a lot of just nothing stuff going on here. Oh, you have a tragic backstory. Oh, you have a tragic backstory. Oh, your backstory. You're the Rocket of this movie. Like, it's just I have no emotional investment in any of the characters, even the ones I like to a degree. Which leads me to another big problem. While I said I liked 3 of the characters and was tolerant of Kevin Hart, one of the problems here is, first off, the script is not very good. It's not very good at all. I think the direction doesn't help, and I'm not a big Eli Roth fan either. But Kevin Hart, Kate Blanchett, Claptrap, I think has legitimately some good lines. They're doing the best they can with the direction and the lines they have. And all the performers, again, I haven't seen the guy who plays the Psycho. He actually has a name, like Krier, something like that. I haven't seen him before, so I can't judge him. But I've seen all the other people, everyone in this movie, do good things. Jack Black, I've seen do multiple good things. I just watched Kung Fu Panda this year. I loved Kung Fu Panda. It was actually a really fun time. Loved the struggle, but I liked it. I liked Mario Brothers too. All these people giving Jack Black hate at the moment. Don't know what it's for. I think people need to shut up sometimes and mind their own business. People are allowed to have personal opinions. Unless he said something extremely racist, sexist, or was anti-Muslim, or some bullshit like that, which as far as I know, he did not, then you need to mind your business. Cate Blanchett, we know how good she is. I've even seen Kevin Hart do some good work. What's the name of that movie? The one where he is based off a real story of him and Bryan Cranston, where he is like the caretaker, guy down on his luck because the caretaker of a quadriplegic man, and they form a friendship. That was a legitimately decent movie, and he was legitimately good in the movie, I thought. And I've seen Ariana Greenblatt in things I liked her in. I know Jamie Lee Curtis is good, but for whatever reason, Jamie Lee Curtis and Ariana Greenblatt, Tiny Tina, and don't know what the other one's. I already forgot the other one's character's name. Are not just annoying. They're not. The acting is not good, and the characters are not likable characters. Let's start with Jamie Lee Curtis first. They're like really playing this eccentric scientist, doesn't understand human emotions, concept like that kind of thing. And cool, but her delivery, her mannerisms, what we learn about what she did, like, no, F you, lady, F you. You have no human emotions whatsoever. Like, no, no. So she's very just not crass, right? She's just not likable. Like I don't know what the character is like in the game. Maybe this is how the character's like. From what I understand, though, that's not what the character's like. And then I don't understand. Like, I've seen Ariana Greenblatt in a couple things where I liked her, but at the same time, I remember also seeing her in Barbie and thinking, "Wow, you're a bitch." Like you. To break down that scene, I'm gonna talk about Barbie for a second here because it's very important. Because this is the second time she's played a character that's kind of this very full of themselves, overly confident, can say what they want character. With Tiny Tina, it's a little different. But that scene where Barbie goes up and basically that character that Ariana Greenblatt's playing rips into Barbie, and Barbie goes off and just cries. And she sees this as some sort of moral victory. Okay, let's assume for a second that you believe that was Barbie, which it is. Well, okay, that's just mean. But if for really no reason other than you're to be a mean, like, kid. You're like, honestly, I get teenage angst. That's beyond teenage angst. That's just being a bitch. That's being a bitch. But because you did not assume that was Barbie, you thought it was some mentally weird person. Now you just made a mentally challenged person cry, and you're proud of it. So you're a terrible person. You're just a bad person. I will say this, Tiny Tina's not that bad of a character compared to that. Like, that scene, like, people think it's like a scathing takedown of Barbie, and it is. But when we actually think of it from a character standpoint, that is not a likable girl at all. Like, holy crap, like, you're, whatever likability point you had, done. Like, there's nothing you can do to redeem yourself at this point. Like, nothing in my eyes. And nothing did. With Tiny Tina, it's less the problem of she's not being that rude, or she's not being that much of a bitch or anything like that. It's like she's like, what, 15 or 16 or something like that. So it's like, you're calling her a bitch. Like, yeah. You got a problem with that? Like, look, little 13-year-old girls can be bitches. I say that as a white cis male, but legit, little 13-year-old boys can be bastards. Hell, eight single-digit kids can be bastards too. Little shits. They can be little shits. All these kids have the right to be little shits, bastards, and bitches. That's it. Like, if they act that way, you are entitled to call them that. She's not that bad, but I think the problem just comes out with the delivery. She comes off just so smug, and like, yes, I get she's the little kid, but immature and petulant, and just like the scene you see in the trailer where it's like, why are you rolling down the window? It's Piss Watch Gully. It's like, why are you rolling down the window? It's like, I don't want to roll it up. It's like, what the fuck do you think was going to happen? Like, seriously, why do you think he told you to do that? Like, and it's a lot of that throughout the movie. This bravado that, yes, she's a capable little demolition expert. She's basically the Rocket of the movie. But it doesn't make for a good character. It just makes for an annoying little kid. That's really what it is. She's just an annoying little kid. That's what it comes down to. And when she's one of the main characters, that's really hard to get behind. And like I said, I think the editing is a little weird in this film. Not weird. It's just the pacing. The pacing is just not there. I think the finale just kind of comes up like, oh, we're all right, we're here. It's like, oh my god, it took us this long to get here. When the movie I don't think is even like 2 hours or something like that. I don't buy any of like the bonding or the chemistry with the characters. Here's the problem with Tiny Tina. When she was legitimately sad in the scene, I thought she was faking it because how she acted earlier in the movies, within the movie. So, yeah, and like I don't buy any of the bonding with it, except for Tiny Tina and the Psycho. I don't buy any of the bonding. Claptrap kind of just works with the entire group because he's just a kind of quirky guy who kind of sort of gets along with everyone. Even though he kind of wants the person he's bound to serve dead, just so he can be free. So yeah, and like they're just trying to cram so much. The villain I don't give a shit about. I've seen this guy in other things, and honestly, I don't even think he's been that good in other things. I mean, not that he's bad or anything. I just stuff I've seen him in, I didn't like him that much in. It's so you get a mess of characters. You get a poor story. You get an interesting story that's just kind of bare bones. As a lot of people have kind of said, this feels like a very commercial film. A very commercial film. Like this just feels it's like something the studio wanted to mandate out because, oh, there's a Borderlands and there's an audience for this. We can do it. We also have this on the shelves. We want to make as much money as we can off it. So, yeah, let's do it. It just feels like mandated. That's what it feels like. It sucks. It really does. But is it the worst thing I've seen this year? No, Madam Web's far worse than this. I'd go so far as to say The Night House is still far worse than this, but this is probably going to be in my top 10. I've still got other films to see this year, so who knows? Now, granted, with the next coming weeks, I'm not going to be seeing as many movies. Like, this is the only movie I'm seeing this week, despite the fact that Cuckoo and a couple other films opened this week. And, like, next week is Alien Romulus, and the following week I'm going to be seeing The Crow, and then I think the following week after that is... I'm not sure if that's like a blank week or if that's the week that Afraid comes out, new Blumhouse horror. Because I legitimately want to see Afraid. That one looks cool. Because it looks like it's going to be like Aliens or whatever, but still. So let's see. Yeah, we got Alien Romulus coming out. Then where is you? All right. So then we got The Crow. Yeah, that's the next one. Let's see. And then we got Afraid. That one, the Blumhouse one coming out. Which again, looking forward to that one. And then the following week we got Beetlejuice. So which weird. September is kind of a stacked month a little bit. Because we got Beetlejuice. We got The Wild Robot. We got Transformers 1. I think we got like 1 or 2 other films coming out that month. So yeah, September's weirdly stacked this month or this year. So yeah, we'll see what happens for the rest of the month. I mean, I know what I'm seeing the rest of the month, but we'll see what happens with Borderlands. Was not a cheap film to make, but it wasn't an expensive film to market. If I remember correctly, Borderlands I think has like 100 Borderlands movie has like $100 some odd million market production budget. Borderlands movie budget, I want to say it's about 120. However, its marketing is probably minimal, really minimal. Marketing budget, let's find out. I want to say it's probably no more than like 30 million. So let's see, marketing budget. Film cost 100 to 20 million to produce. Yep, and I was dead on. It was 30 million. Which means this film's only made on $150 million, which is chump change by Hollywood standards. Which would mean, if I do the math real quick, then the film has to hit... If the film can hit 230? 130? Let me do the math real quick here. No, more about like, if it can hit 230. Yeah, if it can do 230, it will break even. Unfortunately, it's only projecting like a $10 to $15 million opening weekend, so that's not good. But if maybe like it's got some foreign audiences, kind of like a Warhammer scenario, maybe. But Warhammer even had a Warhammer. Warcraft. Sorry, like a Warcraft scenario. But Warcraft actually had a much better review than that. This did. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it can like do 20 or some odd million this week. Maybe it can surprise. I'm not saying I want more of this movie. I'm just saying I don't want Lionsgate to take a big loss if they can help it. But yeah, surprisingly, it's not made it a lot, so maybe it has a chance. We'll have to wait and see. I'm just doing like a stroke mouth right now. Maybe we'll see. But maybe we'll see. Anyway, I digress. What did you think of the movie? If you have seen it, let me know in the comments below. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, you want us to do something, put in the comments below. I'll see you guys for the next one.